So now joining us now is Cam Thomas of ESPN. You can follow him on Twitter at CThomasKPVU. We appreciate you being on the show. My first question for you, something that we were talking about the last segment, this whole Greg Hardy situation. Greg Hardy had actually made himself look like a victim. He changed his bio to quote-unquote, innocent until proven guilty, lack of knowledge and information is just ignorance. The unjust, prejudicial treatment of different categories of people is discrimination. And I noticed that a few people had actually came to him and or came to the side of him, to the defense of him, and said that this is possibly a racial issue. I want to ask you, as an African American, can we make this a racial issue with Greg Hardy?
First of all, thank you for having me on the show. Second, as far as the Greg Hardy thing is concerned, I'm not quite sure we can make it a racial issue. I think it's more so a progressive thinking issue with the nation. When we look at our nation as a whole, we're not forward thinkers. Like if we want to look back at the Michael Vick situation. Now, granted, a lot of this stuff happens to African American players. I get that. I mean, the Riley Cooper situation was quote unquote swept under the rug. I get that. A lot of these African American players are being ostracized, and a lot of them are being punished twice, like Ray Rice, who Roger Goodell had given a ruling to, and then the video leaks for Ray Rice. Then he gets punished again, released by the Ravens. So he was punished 2, maybe 3 times. So I'm not exactly sure if this is a racial issue. I think people need to take out their almost I want to call it a reaction. Like when you hear domestic violence, what do you think happened exactly? Do you think he pinched her? He tripped her? No. There was real violence. She was abused. So when we see these videos or these pictures come out, I don't understand why people want to have harsher reactions than they did after the initial development of the story. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I agree with you completely there. We've actually talked about that before. The dramatic difference of reactions between a video and just the thought of domestic violence is pretty amazing to me. But you bring up Ray Rice. I want to ask you this right here. When you compare the two situations, do you think it should be a situation where both Greg Hardy and Ray Rice need to be in the NFL? Or should Greg Hardy, should it be similar to the Ray Rice situation where he just doesn't need to be in the NFL? He needs to stay away.
Well, I'm not going to say anybody doesn't need to go make their money and, have their hustle. The NFL is what they were born on this, or put on this earth to be in. And that's why they have the athletic gifts they have and physical gifts that they have. Now, if you want to look at on the other side of the ledger, they've had their day in court. Some of them, some other situations have actually done actual jail time, a la Michael Vick. And then, once you pay your debt to society, quote unquote, you should be able to move on as an American citizen. Now, whether someone wants to take a chance on you at the NFL level is a different story. But I'm not going to say we should hold anyone out of the league if they've paid their debt to society and or had their day in court.
I agree with that completely. Stephen, you can go ahead now. I agree completely.
Yeah, Stephen Err, glad to have you on the show here. Now, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, and I'm not going by the pictures of what he did with his girlfriend, whoever it was he beat up. I believe everyone deserves a chance. Cowboys gave him that second chance. But now I'm watching him on the sideline, on the field. His play is dirty. He knocked a clipboard out of a coordinator's hand. That's unacceptable. He got into a fight with Des Bryant. He almost beat up an Eagles player during a kick during the Sunday Night Football loss. Personally, as a fan, and as a journalist, because this guy, the way he acts, I don't want him on the Dallas Cowboys team. What do you think should happen to Greg Hardy?
I don't know. I mean, I hear a lot of people say that Greg Hardy shouldn't be a Cowboy, shouldn't be on the Cowboys team. And I'm not going to tell anybody that they're wrong for feeling that way. I mean, for all we know, they might know someone who has been domestically abused. Now, as far as, his antics on the field, I mean, a lot of it is reprehensible. Like, I'm not going to say the arguing with teammates and coaches, because that happens throughout the game. I mean, we've seen Tom Brady yell at his offensive coordinator, but, I mean, that was swept under the rug after Monday's news. after Monday's headline. So I'm not going to say the yelling at coaches and coordinators, but as far as the knocking clipboards out of hands and stuff, he has to hone in his emotions. But I mean, if you're going to say he shouldn't be a Dallas Cowboy, I'm not here to argue your point.
I'm glad to hear that. The next question I have is not Cowboys related, it's NFL related. There are 3 teams that are undefeated for the first time in NFL history. 3 teams are 8-0 record: Carolina Panthers, Cincinnati Bengals, and the New England Patriots. Which team falls first?
I think the team that will fall first would be the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay.
I think the Cincinnati Bengals will fall first. I feel like their defense can be exploited. The offense can have dry spells. That can be at sometimes they can depend on Andy Dalton's arm too much, and that's largely because of the fact that, I mean, they have 2 very good running backs. I mean, they just can't find a way to get their offensive game going. But, I mean, I feel like they would be the team susceptible to falling first. I mean, because if Cam Newton, I'm not saying Cam Newton and the Panthers are going to go undefeated, but, I mean, they've had ample chances to lose, and they've continued to pull games out. Not saying they're going undefeated by any stretch, but I feel like they'll continue to pull games out as opposed to the Cincinnati Bengals remaining undefeated longer.
I do want to go ahead and get into domestic violence real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get into more sports talk. But you see the Greg Hardy situation. You see the Ray Rice situation, Hope Solo. Jose Reyes just got arrested yesterday for it. Do you have an explanation of why domestic violence is so heavy in sports?
If I had an explanation, I'm sure I'd be in political office at this point. I can't necessarily put my finger. I can't put my finger on it, on why everyone's just out here beating on everybody. I'm gonna say it's testosterone levels. That's the best thing I can come up with, because there's no reason for let's just take Greg Hardy for example. Greg Hardy, you're 6'3", 250 plus pounds of pure grown man. Why are you doing this to this young lady? I mean, she could be anywhere in the world, but she's here with you. You should appreciate that. And for this stuff to be going on, then Jose Reyes, and then, as you said, Ray Rice and Hope Solo, it's out of control. It's running rampant, and we need.
Can you guys hear me?
Jesus Christ!
I hear you.
Yeah, there was some issues going on there with the Blog Talk Radio. My apologies for that. But Stephen brings up the question of the 8-0 teams, or the 9-0 teams, whatever they are, whatever the hell they are, the undefeated teams. We all know in the AFC, obviously New England is they got to be a lock for the Super Bowl. But I do want to ask you, because they've got some believers on their side, but at the same time, they have people still doubting them. I'm talking about the Carolina Panthers. What is your opinion on Carolina? Are they the team to beat in the NFC? Cam, are you with us?
Jesus
we lost
Christ.
him. We lost him before. Like he was saying something and boom, he just left.
Cam, are you there? Cam, are you with us? I think we lost Cam.
Yeah,
while we're waiting for Cam. 469, I see you call in again. Who is this?
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Yes, sir. Cam is back with us. Everything good over there?
Yes, sir. Everything's good. My cheek slipped to the mute button, but it's okay. I'm here. But I did hear the question.
Yeah, it gets the best of us. Well, I'll say the question again. As far as the Carolina Panthers, they're undefeated, obviously. Are they the team to beat in the NFC, or do you have your chips on another team in the NFC?
As far as the NFC goes, I'm not going to necessarily say that the road through the NFC goes through Carolina. I'm not ready to anoint them there yet, albeit they're, I believe, 8-0. I still believe Arizona's a better team than the Carolina Panthers. But if we want to be technical, if we want to be technically speaking, the road through the NFC still goes through Seattle, even though they're having a down year. But if we want to be technical,
Jesus Christ,
Cam Newton is still my MVP at this point in the year.
Oh man.
I'm still driving the
I'm
camper
sorry.
MVP bus.
I have to disagree with you. Like, oh my God. Way disagree with you. No. Seattle?
I said if you wanted to be technical. But
No.
I put Arizona. I think Arizona's better. I think Arizona's better than Carolina.
Oh my God! How did you skip over the GOAT? You skipped over the GOAT. The NFC.
Really, Chris?
Jesus Christ.
No, but seriously, I do have to disagree with you. Like, you have to give Carolina respect. Like, you have to give Cam Newton respect. You have to give him.
I'm ready to give him respect. Hell, as a matter of fact, he's my MVP.
As a matter of fact, Bob Costas, if I'm not mistaken, on Sunday Night Football announced that the road for the playoffs for the Super Bowl is through Carolina. And I don't agree with Bob Costas much, but he's right. There's not a team that can contend with Carolina. Carolina's defense is good. Cam Newton is
They're elite.
Poised. Yeah. And, I mean, they've changed. The culture in Carolina has changed. You cannot say that Arizona holds the cards. Arizona is going to fold like a lady's dress at the end of a cocktail hour. I'm trying to explain to you that Carolina is weak, especially on the defensive side. They have some weapons offensively, but they always fail down the stretch. Huh?
They have other weapons not named Greg Olsen?
Well, I mean, I like their QB play. I like their coaching. I like their schemes. I mean, they use what they have to the best of their ability, but that's why I don't think that they'll last, because they're not built for long term. Like, they're good in the season, but playoffs they're not going to make it if they do make it. And you know, I just don't see how you cannot anoint Carolina NFC champ.
I'm not ready to anoint them because I feel like these pieces that they have will eventually come back down to earth.
We're halfway through the year. We're already at the halfway mark. Like, and I get that.
It happens.
Everyone says that Carolina.
It happens. We've seen Peyton Manning run through the regular season and then flame out in December and January.
Good point.
But I agree, but I don't think it will happen with Cam Newton. Like, I think everybody is not really giving Cam Newton the respect that he deserves. Like, Cam Newton is
fully deserving of his respect this year and his contract.
And if you think about it, you want a quarterback that is durable. Who's the most durable quarterback in the NFL right now? Cam Newton.
Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco.
1 in 5, Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco hasn't missed a start in his career.
I digress.
Yeah, Chris is a funny guy. I like how Chris just hops in there and starts the debate. Well, since we are on the discussion of the NFC, I want to ask you about the Green Bay Packers. Now, Packers fans got mad at me when I said it, but do you agree or do you disagree with me when I say that the Green Bay Packers are overhyped?
Overhyped? That's an excellent question. But I'm leaning towards, yes, they're overhyped. I'm leaning towards the overhyped. Because, I mean, there's no semblance of a rushing attack. Eddie Lacy has destroyed my fantasy team this year. I'm quite disgruntled. Eddie Lacy's bad this year. I've lost Le'Veon and then Dion Lewis. It's rough. But as far as actual on-the-field production, it's Aaron Rodgers or bust for those guys. And if Aaron's having a rough day like he did against the Denver Broncos, it's going to look like that game against the Denver Broncos. That's just what it is. But the game against Carolina last week, he's not going to lose too many shootouts like that.
Yeah. Last question, we'll go ahead and get you out of here. I saw that you're from Houston, so I do want to ask you, the James Harden, the whole little B curse on him, do you believe in this stuff? Is this real? Because it looks like that it's real, Cam.
I don't believe in it. I don't believe in the little B curse whatsoever. Little B is Hopefully he doesn't think he can come and curse me because I'm saying this. But I don't think Lil B's. I mean, he has to do something to rebound from his failing rap career.
Oh,
He's just finding
failing rap career. That's so
his
great.
His rap career is
true,
terrible.
though. Yeah, I agree completely.
He was almost as bad as Soulja Boy.
He is awful.
As bad as you might have a point there. I mean, because now that I think about it, the only song that I really liked from Lil B was when he was with the Pack, that band song. And that's pretty much the only song that I can think of that I actually liked that Lil B was on. So yeah, you kind of got a point there. He might be worse than Soulja Boy, or at least on the same level.
I didn't like any of them, and I can only put him and Soulja Boy in the same category because Soulja Boy started to crank that phase, and he made probably millions of dollars off that one song. Lil B is living off of headlines by cursing people, allegedly. There's nothing to be proven.
Yeah.
Because James Harden had 89 points in the last 2 games, I believe.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I have to agree with you there. Well, since we're on the discussion of rap, who is your favorite rapper, Cam?
My favorite rapper. It's a tough one. But I'm a huge fan of Kanye. I'm a huge Kanye fan. I love Kanye.
So you like Kanye Kardashian?
I don't know if I'm going to call him Kanye Kardashian, but I'm a Kanye. But I'm more of the older Kanye fan. I don't know when that Kanye will ever come back. I'm more of a college dropout guy.
I was just about to say 5 years ago, Kanye fan.
Yeah,
I'm more of
the old Kanye
guy. I have no problem turning that on repeat.
Yeah, I do have to agree with you there. I'm all about that. I mean, I like some of his new stuff. Like, I do like the song All Day, but actually, other than that, there really isn't too much Kanye stuff. So, yeah, more of the college dropout days, I do have to agree with you there. But Cam Thomas of ESPN, you can follow him on Twitter at CThomasKPVU. We appreciate you being on the show, sir.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. Y'all be good.
Thanks, Mike.
Yes, sir. We get the Stevens NFL Week 10 picks up next.
Interested in being a sports writer or a lifestyle writer from Miami Sports and Lifestyle?